Welcome in, everyone, to the only podcast dedicated to all things hockey here in the Gulf South, including professional, amateur, and all things in between. On this show, we're going to talk about our favorite NHL teams and even have some surprises along the way. This is your home for team coverage for the Biloxi Breakers, Baton Rouge Zydeco, and the Monroe Moccasins of the Federal Professional Hockey League. In the show, we're going to have our thoughts, facts, and opinions on all things in the FPHL. Right or wrong, you're going to get honest answers about all things FPHL South and perhaps hockey in general. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Hockey Time Down South. Our host for Hockey Time Down South today, we have a Massachusetts native, a graduate from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, entering his second season as a professional broadcaster in the FPHL. He is in his first season as the voice of the Biloxi Breakers and host of the Breaker Banter podcast. This is Devin Dobeck. Our next host hails from California. He's a graduate of Full Sail University with a degree in sportscasting. He has broadcasted for teams which include the Long Beach Shredders of the USPHL, University of South California Trojans and of the ACHA, and most recently, Bismarck Bobcats of the NAHL. He is entering his second season as the voice of the Baton Rouge Zydeco. This is Brian Flores. Next, we have my good friend and broadcast partner. He's originally from Santa Clara, California. He has called a wide range of sports for various networks, including the Pac-12 Network, the Gulf Sports Entertainment Network, Blaze Radio. He's a graduate from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Arizona State University, a third-year broadcaster in the FPHL, entering his second season as the voice of the Monroe Moccasins. My partner, Joseph Furtado. Lastly, myself, a Chicago native, an ex-goaltender and goaltending coach for over 30 years. I'm the host of the Inside the Blue Paint podcast, entering my second season as the color commentator and co-host of Inside the Snake Pit for the Monroe Moccasins. I'm Pete Fricano. Well, gentlemen, is it great to be alive calling hockey in the Gulf South or what?
It's always a good time to be calling hockey. And Pete, you know what? I'm just going to go off and say, because your intro, when you come and do it, this is for the intro because I know you're going to say something about Arizona. So go Devils. Boo, whatever school Devin went to.
Joseph's over there rocking his ASU Devils hoodie today. Brian's going with his gaming jersey. Devin's representing Boston over there. Yeah, he's got
his flag. He's got his flag hanging up. You just can't see it.
Dude, he's got them Dunkin' Donuts, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna walk his car over there.
Yeah, I didn't bring the accent with me, and I'm hoping that I don't take one home with me. So we'll see how that goes down here.
Oh, dude, if I get an accent from down here in Baton Rouge, I'll consider myself lucky. I am so tired of making an influx of my A's hard.
Hard E's.
Pete, you already know about me when it comes to the accents down in the South and everywhere we go, whether it's Louisiana, it's Georgia. I hear somebody with it, I'm going to stop. I'm going to say something. I just love the accents down South.
Dude, I love them too.
So I love when they say yellow. They don't say yellow and they say yella. Like Troy says that our producer, he goes, "Oh, that's yellow right there." I'm like, "Yellow?" Or like he says like fixins or something or whatnot. It's the funniest thing ever.
It's like completely different from North.
That's what's going to be great about this entire podcast. You've got guys from so I've been here for 11 years in Louisiana. Joe's been in and out for the last, 3 now. Devin, welcome. Welcome to the South. This is your second year for Baton Rouge is a little different than New Orleans and Monroe. You're right in the middle of the sandwich, Brian. You're slap dab there in the center. You're kind of like the in-between. Monroe is very southern, I affectionately say it's southern Arkansas, but it's man, I tell you what, a great people up there for sure. And then down here in New Orleans, we're a melting pot of all kinds of dialects. It's Boston, New Jersey, New York. I don't know what's going on down here sometimes, but so yeah, we're gonna, I'm sure, cover a whole wide range of things from the FPHL our favorite teams and just our own personalities. So this ought to be fun. Where I think we're all looking forward to it.
I know I am. I'm definitely looking forward to it. You know, it's actually pretty funny. When I first took the job down here in Baton Rouge, a lot of people asked me, they're like, so like, why Louisiana? Why? And I'm like, dude, the food. Like, are you kidding me? Jambalaya, gumbo, etouffee.
See, did
I say more?
That's not what I said when I was coming to Louisiana. It wasn't like the food, and Pete knows all about this. Where I'm
That's
going.
because you're not fat, all right?
Joe is looking for chicken fingers.
I'm a picky eater. I think the fans in Monroe might know that at this point with all their jokes and the stuff they bring me and hanging out at the tailgates. But yeah, no, I just had to throw that out there. That was at least not my reason. I still think crawfish is not that great. It's overrated. I'm gonna die on that hill. I'm just kidding. I'm just a picky eater. Don't like some food. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm just kidding.
I came down here because I love what I do, and I just wanted more reps. Isn't that the answer that we should be having, boys?
That's what the answer you should say, though. But that's not the answer we're going with.
It's the food.
Well, I think it's all of us. I think we all over the last 2 years made a pretty good friendship with each other, and it's really cool that we can all come together now that we're all in the same region. That we could come together and talk about this and be civil and sensible and fun about it and add our own twist to it. And that being said, Devin, welcome to the South and a whole new everything with Biloxi. Tell us how your off season's been.
Yeah, well, thank you first and foremost. So I was in contact with the new ownership group down here, and they saw what I did last year and decided that I definitely deserved a chance to do it in the right sort of light and under the right conditions and circumstances this time. So I got hired officially in about June, and then I made my way to Biloxi towards the first week of September. And it's been an interesting off season. We've had a lot of really positive things. Season ticket sales are at an all-time high in the Coliseum for hockey. Best sponsorship numbers that they've ever done. So things are trending in the right direction. The roster is looking great, which we'll get into shortly. But definitely a lot of positives heading in. I'm very optimistic about the way things are going to be run this year.
Devin, I'm very happy for you to come back and be with Mississippi, though. It's going to be awesome and have a great time. Having a great time with you down there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited. We get a steady dose of each other. It's 12 times that the Breakers will be playing each the Moccasins and the Zydeco. So, I mean, I'm going to be seeing you guys probably more than we'll want to with the podcast now and everything going on. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
We're excited to see you, get to see you down there. The less times I got to see Brian, though, the better.
I know. I was about to say, man, when you said civil, I'm like, you got the right person? What the heck's the moccasin guy doing here then?
Well, if you knew anything about our booth, I'm the dad in our booth. So I usually try to bring everything to a little level, although I can pop off from now and then. But
is that defaulted by age, or was that like a voting?
Yeah. No, that's by age. Everybody up there is either like my child or my grandchild. So that's yeah, very short at times. Joseph can attest. It's there. Believe it or not, it happens. Brian, you're back for your second season in Red Stick. What's going on down there?
Dude, honestly, so getting to a couple of seasons ago, when I was going back for my previous job, kind of had a little bit of dread because, of course, you don't want to leave home. A little bit more dread because it's just like, I was like, I love the state that I was in. I love the city I was in. But, like, Baton Rouge, it's just something different, man. It's like I think the biggest culture shock for me as someone who grew up in LA is you stop to say hi to somebody and they look at you so weird. Here, it's like you don't say hi to them, and it's like this stuck-up guy. So for me, I feel like I'm in my element. I'm a huge yapper. That's why I get paid to yap now, somehow. people don't find my voice annoying, and I kind of take that as a compliment.
Who are you speaking for?
Definitely not for Joe.
Speaking of civil,
I was like, I'm not going to touch that one at all. I'm just going to leave it as is.
I was so proud of Joe there. He bit his tongue so much.
Yeah. Hey, Devin said it for me. He knew what I was thinking. He said, but to go off what you said, Brian, coming from California, I totally get what you're saying, right? Walking down the street here, sometimes like people don't really say hi to you or whatnot, right? Or just go about their business. But in Louisiana, you cannot not walk down the street, and if someone's passing you up, they're gonna say hi to you, they're gonna wave to you, they're gonna interact with you, and they're gonna have that friendly, banter. And like I said, that's one of the Southern hospitality, right? Being very kind, very nice down there. So
I think that's one thing that I completely thought was like exaggerated, was just the complete Southern hospitality until I got here for my first, because I came in halfway through the season. I didn't know what to expect. I took this job from the NAHL, and I was like, I'm at the juniors level, go Bobcats. They won the Robbie, but I'm like, I have a chance to go pro here. I really want to take it. But when I took the job in Louisiana, I was like, I was doing my research, and I read a lot about Southern hospitality, and I'm like, that's got to be exaggerated. Heck no, it's not. It is like everybody here, from Monroe to Baton Rouge to NOLA, like they're completely down to earth, humble people, and it's so awesome to be part of this culture, man.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I would say that the driving for me, the drivers down here, I mean, I'm from Massachusetts, so we have our own reputation, but the driving down south, I mean, everybody is out to lunch. And I mean, it's crazy. I can't go from point A to point B without something that infuriates me briefly, or something that's like very shocking, like an accident, or, something that looks like it should not have happened. So that's the one thing I've picked up on early in the South, is the driving is just, there's not really road rage. Like, there'll be a green light, someone will sit another 5 seconds. I'm not sure what they're doing, probably on a phone or something, but it's like, holy cow. We don't have the patience for that in Massachusetts. I've used my horn a handful of times, and I have not heard another horn from anyone else in the community. And that's probably back to that Southern hospitality and those good people you were talking about, Brian.
Speaking of driving, bro.
Between you and I, we're in the land of uninsured motorists. Remember that, Devin. It's real down here. There's a reason why insurance is so high for vehicles. Yeah, if you live here, it's pretty insane. But you're gonna find that driving's a little different. Come to New Orleans. It's the world's largest game of bumper cars.
Yeah, everything. Sunday drive, I mean, going under, but the speed limits are all higher here. That's the thing. Everything here is 70 as opposed to Massachusetts. You're looking at 65, 60. So like there's some people that definitely fly and clock triple digits, I will say, but it's definitely a lot different on the roads.
I think Joe and Pete can attest to this, and I'm just going to say a quick prayer for my poor rims on my new car. The potholes, bro. Like, why do we have so many potholes? I was driving home after a Zydeco game. It was after our season finale, and I was talking to my dad, because I always have this tradition where I talk to my dad, I talk to my mom, I talk to my girlfriend, just be like, hey, what went right, what went wrong, give me some coaching. And my dad was talking to me, and all of a sudden I cut him off, and I'm like, like dropping the F-bomb. And he's like, what happened? And I'm yelling. And he's like, dude, what happened? Did you get into an accident? And I'm like, no, these potholes, bro, that sounded expensive.
Yeah, and it's far worse by me than it is in Baton Rouge. So, you keep your low profile tires up there, because there's no room for that here at all.
I got a lease, bro. I don't got a choice.
I've had to replace minimum 7 tires in my career. It's just like they're everywhere, the potholes. They find me and they get me, and I'll try and plead my case and like take pictures, do the whole file a claim thing. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Get no luck. It's like there was one that popped both of my tires on the left side of my car. It was like boom, boom. And then both of them shot, massive pothole. I could fit like down to the middle of my forearm in the pothole. And it was like as wide as a hula hoop. And it just smoked me. $400, bang. Just going to pick up some food, and just like that, you got $1,000 trip on your hands.
What food did you get?
Trip for food, man.
Well, the tires. Yeah, it was the tires that I was replacing. It was I had to pay, to get them redone, and then I had to. I don't know the other tire. I've popped so many tires I can't even get the story straight. But I remember one time I popped like one, and they were like, "Oh, so the treads on your others are down, so you're just gonna have to replace all of them." I was like, "Oh, great!" So now I'm buying 4 tires instead of 1. But welcome to the real world.
Welcome to the real world.
Adulting is real, my guy.
Yeah.
So are potholes.
Not a bad driver either. Not a bad
So
driver at all.
No. And and what a great change of scenery. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, dude. Same here.
Being with the children of the corn to having a Gulf view out of your office, basically.
Yeah, except it's 95 every day, but I'm sure you guys are used to that at this point. But I'm used to it being around like 55, 60 degrees now.
No, you don't get used to this. You just tolerate it. So it's going to change about the end of October. It'll change. So just hang on. We're almost out of hurricane season. We got a little time left. So you and I are in the same boat. Brian's not really going to get him much by him. Monroe doesn't get him, but we're the first line of defense down here. So you and I are going to be the ones that'll be on the watch. But Joe, what have you been doing this summer?
I've been, doing a whole lot actually. I've had a great summer. Pete, I know all the stuff I've been doing. I know most people, if they heard what I've been doing, they'd be very surprised. But I've had a great summer. I came back here, stopped in Arizona a little bit after the season, spent some time there, and then came back home a little bit. And I've been, doing my thing, riding dirt bikes, doing a lot of enduro riding. That's a lot of fun. But I've also been doing a lot of wakeboarding, wake surfing, taking the boat out. But I've that came at a cost a little bit for me, going to the cable parks too and riding there and everything like that. Cracked a couple ribs on my right side, did that, tore my labrum, had a really bad concussion off 360 I tried to land. I face planted pretty hard. And then I went back after I face planted and got the concussion, tried to do it again, and then face planted again. So yeah, it was fun. It's been fun trying to do that 360. Been trying to learn a backflip. That's been painful, but been fun and coming close. But I'm playing hockey too. I mean, it's been fun, so I can't complain. I'm going again this week actually, so it's gonna be fun. One last time before I get out going to Monroe. So hopefully no concussions or anything. Knock on wood, but we're gonna go for it again.
Bro, cracked ribs, broken arms. I don't know, broken sternum. I can tell you I got you beat. I was tending my flower garden, stubbed my toe, and I only cried for 2 hours. That's what a real man looks like.
Yeah, Joe, Pete will wheel you into the Monroe Civic Center this year.
Listen,
sort of escalator.
I'm the king and hurt myself. I'm the king of stitches, believe it or not. I get stitches, all the time. I'm always hurting myself. I should be wrapping bubble wrap, and I'm always doing stuff. One of my buddies, his name is Chance. He works with our broadcast team, came down to California here, and I took him riding and everything like that. And him being from Louisiana, he had no idea that I knew how to ride dirt bikes. So he sits there, and he goes, I'm doing his accent too. He goes, Joe, I'm going to tell you this, dude. All right, if I wasn't seeing you doing this, I would have never done any of this, okay? You were crazy, dude. I was like, and he's riding my brother's 450, so he's flying around with me, and he's like, yeah, I would have never done any of this if I was by myself. But with you, it's okay. But he had a blast, did that, took the players out, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So that's been my summer. You guys want to go riding anytime, you guys come let me know.
I love it.
I'll put you guys on a bike, or maybe get you guys out in the boat. Well, maybe not Brian. I'd let him walk the plank, but everybody else here can come.
I'm fine with that, bro. The only thing I can ride is a tricycle. I can't even do that right.
Yeah, but it's been fun, and hockey's been in the back of my mind. I know it's been coming, season's been coming around, and I'm always talking to Pete and going back and forth with him. And man, though, it's just crazy how fast the summer goes by and the season too. And, here we are. We're going to start in not, next week, the week after that. And then it's game 1. But then next thing you know, you're going to be staring, at game 30. And then you're like, okay, well, game 30. And then it's 56 all of a sudden. And the season just goes by so fast.
Yeah, that's
Pete, let's hear from you.
We sit right 17 days for our opening night against the Biloxi Breakers. It's going to be hard to start saying that again, but saying Biloxi Breakers instead of the Mississippi Seawolves. But, yeah, it was our first game, and I'll be up that Thursday. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, I remember last year opening, I came up, oh, boy, a little earlier than that. We were just trying to get the ice in gear, and then we blinked, and it was Christmas, and then did a couple road trips, and we were in Athens, and the next thing you know, the night before the last game of the season, it was it was an emotional series because it was like everything came to a head so fast. It was like 56 games stared us into a head really quick, 54, 56, whatever we're playing now, and yeah, it was like I can't believe how we're sitting in October, but we're gonna blink and it's gonna be April. It's gonna go by quick.
Yeah,
it really is.
So get all the
Pete, I was going to piggyback off Devin and say, what have you been doing this summer? I mean, tell us what you've been doing. We know the hot dogs with you has been a huge thing. I mean, I know the people want to hear about that, how that gets started, and what else you've been doing.
I haven't been doing a damn thing, man. I'm just been chilling. No, so yeah. So the hot dog thing. So yeah, back in June, I don't even know how this started, but we started kicking around some ideas. So we own a sandblasting business, and that's been on hold because our machinery has been down since last November. That's unfathomable.
Oh no.
Oh,
we lost him already, just like that, guys. It's the connection down there, and it's the connection down there in New Orleans.
All right. Since Pete's gone, let us know the sauce, Joe. Let's see the sauce.
Well, I was going to say this. Hey, even though we lost him for a second. We can get going and start talking about some of the hockey. Some of the new things going on and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's roll with Devin because he's got the new team name, whole new branding change, everything like that. So let's talk about that, and then we'll get into you, Brian.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he beat us.
All of a sudden, everything went awry, but we're still recording, so it's good.
Yeah. Well, no, we were still going. We were about to get going into some hockey here, but we'll let you finish what you're saying.
Yeah. So anyway, so we decided to punt because sometimes that's what you do, and that's probably where I looked up. And we talked about it for a while. New Orleans does not have a hot dog game. It's not something that they do here, and let alone anything from Chicago. So I got in touch with Vienna Hot Dogs in Chicago, and we decided to have a conversation, which led to a two-hour-long conversation. We signed a contract to only sell their quarter-pound jumbo dogs, and so far it's been a complete hit. We started out at a historical facility here in New Orleans for about 2.5, almost 3 months, and it was very successful. We had a huge fan base, and we decided I needed freedom for the hockey season, so we completely pulled out of there, and now we're just doing pop-ups throughout the city at various bars. We've got a home for Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night that doesn't interfere with hockey, and we've even done the Abita Brewery down here in New Orleans last weekend, which was a huge success, and it's going really well, and it's a lot of fun. And actually some of the Moccasin fans have come down, and Kevin Kupia, one of our vice president or executive vice president, if you will, he came down, and him and Holly came and had a hot dog. They said it was the best hot dogs they've ever had, and that we get that from a lot of people, so that's a huge compliment. And but yeah, that, back to Chicago this summer for a minute to go my mom's 70th birthday, and go to see my big supporters in my family and all that. But you and I have talked from time to time, and now we're switching gears and getting ready to get down to business.
Hey, Devin, I know we have not tried his hot dogs yet, but on that first game, all right, you and me, we're doing a taste test on the broadcast. You and me, 100%. We're going to give our honest opinions to Pete in front of the whole world.
Yeah, I won't sugarcoat it. I will give you my honest review.
See, you got to cook.
And
man, see, you're gonna have to come over like the apartment or something to get them because it's not like I can bring them cold over to the arena. That's gonna be gross.
and
But
I
do plan on doing
did
hot
make a
dog night
call
for the
out.
boys.
I made a call out.
I do plan on.
Oh, God, go.
What you doing?
No, I was like, I made a call out on Joe on Facebook. I was like, you know what? Zydeco moccasin hot dog eating contest. We got to do it.
I don't know about that one. I don't know how many I can put down. Like I said, you give me like maybe two, and then that's about it. That's not happening.
I tell you what, I can't even eat two right now. They're quarter-pound hot dogs. They're legit.
Oh, see, there you go. I'm not even getting half of one.
I'm getting half of one, and I'm tapping.
These boys
nap
don't
time.
Play. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, some people. The one guy a couple weeks ago, he had 6 in one night. Now we have punch cards. Your 11th hot dog is free. You don't have to do them in one night. And this guy was he's somewhere like Switzerland or something, Austria. And this guy, he was like on a 6th. I'm like, you don't have to do it all tonight, And then we didn't see him for a while, so maybe he went to the bathroom. I really don't know. I
like how Pete, by the way, when he was telling that, he was like, he's somewhere. He's looking up, and I'm like, did he die? It's like he's somewhere up there in hot dog heaven looking down on us.
Yeah, Austria. Yeah, it's the home of the sausages.
There you go.
It's going to be fun, though, getting the chance to do.
Yeah, what's crazy. The one that's had the most extreme makeover, though, seriously, is Biloxi, because not only new broadcaster, new location for Devin, but a complete rebrand, ownership change, coaching change, it's a whole new. This is not the Mississippi Seawolves team of last year, where we're like. And Mississippi last year wasn't always a pushover. It was one of those games where you're like, I've said it before, that's why you play the game, because you have no idea what that outcome is going to be. And Mississippi would play tough. And matter of fact, they think they got us a night or two. But Devin, touch base on some of that.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of changes this offseason. Beginning with the name, it was narrowed down to 3. The Cruisers, the Mosquitoes, which thank God, I can't imagine sitting here being the Mississippi Mosquitoes. But eventually the Breakers was the fan vote. That happened. They hired a guy who has experience all the way up to the ECHL as our assistant general manager, Nate Gosline. He's been great on the sales end. Of course, head coach Charlie Penns. He's our general manager now as well, and I think that he's the driving force in what's going to be the success of this organization. In his time in Watertown last year, we definitely saw him begin to show what he can do. And I think now with like a fresh start here in Biloxi, that it's going to be just exactly what he needs to have a full season under his belt with a roster that he's built himself pretty much from the ground up. I mean, looking through this thing, there's only about a half dozen names returning from Mississippi Seawolves, but most of these guys are recruited, guys he's watched, heard about, talked with agents about, and there's some pretty big names on the list. So, I mean, everything as far as the hockey side, I already touched on the numbers. But everything is pointing for the Stars finally aligning here in Biloxi. Of course, 3 years with the Seawolves since they came back. And then now the Breakers. I think that this is going to be the year that things start to change and for the better. It's going to be a great season.
And a success for the Seawolves and Baton Rouge as well is good for this entire Gulf South. There's a big hockey community. There's a whole swath with Louisiana and Mississippi, and I think it's just completely growing year after year. And I do have a confession to make. I did have a lot of insight, and I'm not going to put people's names out there that I know sent me them, but I saw every one of the logos that have come through before they were even voted on. And I was actually pulling for the Cruisers. There was several jersey colors and combinations and what have you. Mosquitoes was kind of a joke. The Cruisers, I thought, was a really cool tip-off for the Navy. So I thought that was cool. I still think Baton Rouge originally should have been the Destroyers for the USS Kidd. I think they dropped the ball on that one. Hey, cool logo. It almost reminds me of Tulane a little bit. So it's Yeah. No, I got to see all these things before they were even voted on. I feel kind of guilty, but no, that's my secret.
Yeah, my vote was with the Breakers, and I think it's just the versatility that we can use with kind of the Gulf Coast beach theme. I mean, there's so many opportunities in our branding to incorporate the ocean and water and sand and just everything that makes a beach. We're going to be releasing some more of that stuff in the coming weeks, but our goal song, you could probably, if you really put on your thinking cap, figure out, but it's pretty on brand, and I think that it's going to get the people going. And yeah, Biloxi, if the Coliseum, if we can fill it, it's the largest barn in the FPHL. So if we can, even half fill it, that's going to be a really tough environment for visitors to play in. So that's what we're trying to do. That's why we've worked so hard in the off season, and yeah, we will see.
It's a nice.
Yeah, so my favorite part of the entire arena there at the Gulf Coast Coliseum is the fact that there's an actual bathroom in the broadcast booth. I think that's the biggest bonus out of the entire league as far as from the broadcasting standpoint.
The convenience is incredible, but the hike up there is a journey of its own. I mean,
I was going to say that is a nightmare.
I was about to say.
Especially if you have to go and bring your stuff up there, it is a nightmare. Carrying that box, Pete knows what I'm talking about. I made him carry like a 75-pound box, and he's got it by the hand, and he's wheeling it up there with one hand. He's like, wow, I'm never doing that again. He's like climbing up Mount Everest going up to how steep it is.
Yeah, you blow up both knees and your lower back. You're like, what? And you're not even halfway up there. It's like, this is stupid. It's like, what is it? But good view up there. It's and you're right. If that place gets half full, it's gonna be rowdy.
Yeah. So we will see, but a lot of good signs for the Biloxi Breakers early on. I'm excited for training camp. That will actually be in Lafayette, Louisiana next week. So the players are going to begin to trickle in the next couple days, and then we'll be suiting up to head out there for a week and a half. And I'm excited to kind of see how the roster is going to shape out, get some content, and meet the guys and just see what we're going to have this year.
Yeah, we're about ready to kick it off. Brian, Baton Rouge is almost kind of under some of the same blanket because the ownership there got shifted a little bit too, and you had coaching staff changes and your rosters shifting all over the place. What's going on with you boys?
So for Baton Rouge, we're everything's shy of a rebrand. We're having a lot of people come back, a lot of players, a lot of key names coming back. And I feel like last season, the Zydeco, they had the roster, they had the tools, but they didn't have the systems, did not execute the way that they would have wanted. And, of course, Everett Thompson, I love him. He's a great dude. But I feel like the coach coming in, his name's Chad Bailey. He is legit. I had a chance to meet with him this morning. And believe it or not, I met up with his former head coach. I thought it was him, but his former head coach, which he was the assistant of the Lone Star Brahmas back in the Null. When we went to the showcase, his head coach actually had a talking with me too. And he definitely models himself very well. And just his record and history speaks for itself. Every single team that he has gone into below 500, when he finally got the reins to be the head coach, they were cup contenders. It doesn't matter if it's in the ACHA with the Sun Devils or the NA3HL with the Texas Junior Brahmas, the Lone Star Brahmas of the NAHL. He knows what a winning culture looks like, and he knows how to craft it. And he said this, and it was a little bit of a candid. He said, my goal is to send these boys home after practice wanting to sleep. Like, they're not going to have the energy to do anything else other than sleep. And I'm like, yeah. The previous coach that I worked under, Garrett Roth of the Bismarck Bobcats, as well as Lane Sedevy, they had the same mentality of, if you guys aren't, darn near puking your guts out after practice, then that means we haven't practiced hard enough. And it's just the same. It's the same mentality. It's the same culture that he's bringing. And that's not even getting into our new GM and Charlie Watson, who, I mean, he had ECHL experience. He was, believe it or not, one of my favorite ECHL teams. The down in Greenville, the Swamp Rabbits. He was one of the founding members of that, and I feel like his experience has already paid dividend. He has given me so many insights, and so he's taught me so much. And that's the thing about Charlie, is he is not afraid to like get into your head and be like, hey, you know what? If you're doing it this way and it's not working, let's try this way. And it goes with everything. Broadcasting, sales, everything that he runs in the day-to-day office, he's completely open. And I had a few offers to me during the off season for the FPHL, but the main reason why I stuck with Baton Rouge was because I was hearing a lot of the rumblings of what our president was conducting, Don Lewis, that he wanted to bring a completely different culture here to Baton Rouge. And I am a firm believer in it. Right now, a lot of people would look on paper and say, oh, Baton Rouge, they didn't really do a lot during the off season. It's their roster looks a little bit weaker, but I beg to absolute differ. We have a lot of studs coming back. We have some new studs from overseas coming to Baton Rouge, and there's a lot of people excited here in BR for hockey to get started. So I really cannot wait for that first game.
It's gonna be here before you know it.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah! And yeah,
very soon.
We look forward to that rivalry getting renewed as well. And I think so does the fans. There's a lot of not to point anybody out, Zydeco Mafia. There was a lot of good banter and not so good banter at the same time. Good friend Tim Hitt over there at Fiesta on 18th is one of our good catalysts on our side. But it's going to be interesting to see some of the things that they pull out this year. It's always fun to sit back and watch the fans. Sometimes don't engage, just sit in that skybox and watch them do their own thing.
No, honestly, I have to say, Zydeco, I really like interacting with our fans. They're really cool. And I can't tell you how blessed I am to have this opportunity to call for our games. But I do got to say, y'all got some pretty good wagon burners there in Monroe too. I love getting down and dirty with your guys' fans. You guys are ruthless, and honestly, it's for me, the way I view it, all in good fun. And at the end of the day, we're watching a sport. We're having a good time, and I think that's the one thing that the Monroe fans. I forgot that, because it was when your guys' YouTube got taken down, and I had like 3,000 people watching my stream because they couldn't watch you guys. And they kept roasting me for the fact that I didn't know how to pronounce half the stuff in Louisiana. And I'm like, honestly, new kid, but you know what? I genuinely love your guys' fans too. Like, they're such great people. And quick story. My first ever game that I broadcasted live outside of the River Center was in Monroe. And after climbing up the fire escape to get to the perch, I was setting up my gear, and
thanks, Joe.
I yes, thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Having a 200+ pound man climbing upstairs with 100+ pound gear, that's amazing.
Well, I'm gonna pause you. We're doing something new this year. We're actually gonna take a rope, to the end, and throw it down, and you can just wrap it around yourself, and then we're gonna pull everyone up.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're gonna get some more interns for that. Gotcha.
We've got interns. Trust me.
Well, we got more interns, so trust me. All right, we're gonna make it happen.
Got plenty of interns.
Yep.
But like I was setting up, right, and I had everything set. I had everything going, and I'm Joe just like graciously taught me about overlays, and I was getting that set up. And then the next thing I hear is like this big boom, and I'm like, "What the heck was that?" And I feel down towards my feet, and I'm like, I don't feel my mixer case. And I look down, I see two fans looking up at the skybox, and there's my case right behind them. I'm like, oh, hey, I nearly killed a couple of people. So I go downstairs, and I talk to them, and I'm like, hey, I am so sorry. That was completely on me. And they're like, oh, it's like, it's all right. It's all right. And the husband talks to me. He's like, who you with? And I'm like, oh, I'm the Zydeco. And I was like, oh no, it's not all right. It's not all right. You nearly killed us. So I start laughing, and he's like, nah, it's all right. Just we're good. And so I went to your guys' concession. I got a couple beers, and I got like the whole pizza to get for them. And that's when I got to see your guys' concessions and stand. I love it. And whenever you leave a tip from them, it's like, hey, guess what? We got a tip. That it always gets me, and I absolutely love it. So, from the River Center to Monroe to the Mississippi Coast Coliseum, man, it's all good. The only thing that fire escape and Mount Everest that we have to climb getting up to the broadcast booth in Biloxi. Oh, jeez. Listen, man, I'm a broadcaster. I did not sign up for Fat Camp.
I just want to say, though, real quickly, if we're going to share broadcast stories, okay, nothing beats when we first met Devin when he was with the Dashers. And here we come rolling in with all our broadcast equipment. This is in Danville. Now, the home team takes priority, right? I think that's even in the FPHL rulebook, right? The home team has to provide a broadcast. So here we come rolling in with all this stuff. Me, Pete, and Troy, Lisa,
the other 99 interns.
Yeah, and all the other interns. And we said, basically it was, hey, man, like.
It was a hostile takeover. There was a coup staged. Let it be known on the record that it was a hostile takeover. And I was just a victim of a bystander. But I did end up enjoying the results, so my argument might collapse on itself. But, Joe, yeah, go ahead.
Devin was super nervous. He was like, I would too, right? Who are these guys coming in like, hey, let us take over. Let us do our thing. We nearly ripped up his whole entire setup, okay, which is rude of us even just coming like that as, the guest in his house say, hey, we don't like this. Let's just let us do our thing, right? And Devin looked like he was going to have a panic attack. Like, he was like, I'm trusting these guys. Like, it's just, he looked like he was just not having a good time. We're putting all this stuff up. He's like, why is the camera not working? We're going to get everything up. And sure enough, we got everything good. We got everything looked good. He had a couple different angles and everything, and he was just like sigh of relief that everything worked. And then the second game came, he knew everything was going to work, and it was all good. And that's how we became friends. And then from there it was like, hey, you're going to be in town this day, and we started talking with them, and it's a pretty funny story because I know that I don't think I kind of got away with it anywhere else, but to go in there and just kind of rip up your broadcast like that, still feel bad, but thank you, Devin, for letting us do that.
No, we definitely needed the help at the time. It was obviously a very turbulent production in Danville, and our operation, it got definitely a lot better over time, but especially when you guys arrived, we needed some help, and you guys delivered, so I was happy to reap the benefits, but it was. I was definitely, because there had just been so much pressure. We'd had so many broadcasts that just were not meeting the standard, just because it was out of our bandwidth financially, technology-wise, whatever excuse you want to make. It was just, it was tough. So when you got to work in, that was pretty awesome. You gave me some good pointers to go forward. So it was good. It was good. It was definitely. I was a little unsure. I think there might have been even 20 minutes into the hostile takeover, I was like, who? I think I walked to the bathroom and I was like, who do these guys think they are? And it might have been a little more colorful than that, but now it's the world is an amazing place, and now we're sharing a podcast podium here. So it was. I'm very happy that I was harshly whatever you want to call it, taken over.
Yeah, you were. Talking to Brian about our fans. Our fans are funny because they will get in the trenches and they will eat you up, but they're going to invite you to the tailgate for a beer. they're gonna drink with you. They're gonna have a good time.
Yep.
Joe, going now that we're on the fan circuit, was it last season or was it when we were with Baton Rouge when you were almost jumped by a bunch of young fans? Oh, he froze.
He froze. I literally he froze at the best time too. Look at that smile. Look at that smile.
It's fantastic. Yeah,
it was so funny. The first time that I actually met Joe, so we were in Monroe. It was my first ever Fed game, and here comes Joe, just asking me if I'm if I'm all right, if I need anything. The first thing I do is I turn to Joe and I'm like, "Hey there, little guy. Where's your dad?"
Me right here.
There we go. There we go.
Hey,
totally
so
wasn't
rudely. Before you ejected yourself in the room on accident.
My computer died. My bad. I'm on the phone now. But I just want to say real quickly, though, because Devin didn't get to finish his sentence, so just the fans know, because I know if Mateen, the Athens Rock Lobsters broadcaster, is watching this right now, he's going to go, huh, he did it to Devin, too? He did it to me as well? He took over my entire broadcast.
Well, we're going to get to that, but I wanted to go back to when we were in Biloxi, and you had you went down during intermission, you had a bunch of kids that wanted to beat you up.
Oh yes, that was when I was with the Zydeco. That was yeah. Pete was calling one of the first games to me, and I won't repeat the swear word that he used, but a couple of them, I was walking around minding my own business, got a water bottle in hand, just checking out the stadium for the first time, walking around the concourse, and then these kids just kind of walked up, got in my face, and they were just like, "The Zydeco suck, dude." And I was like, "Dude, chill out, man. I need to do this, dude." And the other kid's stepping up on me, and I was like, I just laughed. I just didn't. I thought it was the funniest thing ever, and me laughing probably didn't make it any better. But I was like, all right, what is going on right now? And I was like, all right, guys, we'll see you guys later. Just kept walking. I mean, that was the only time that has ever happened in my career where someone's got in my face for just being the broadcaster for the team and just wanted to tell me that my team sucked.
Second period.
Yeah, and then we went down again the second period, but never saw him again. Pete was walking around. He was not going to let that fly. He wasn't too happy with that happened, and Pete was in full dad mode. But it was the only time that's ever happened, to me in my career. And just like I said, walking around, I was like, okay, thank you, dude.
I don't think I've had any fans come at me or try and start an altercation. There's definitely been times where they've unplugged things of mine, and I come in, I'm like, "What the heck?" And then they're like, "It wasn't us." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I'm looking at them literally, sitting on the court or their chairs against the court or whatever. It's like, whatever. Don't ever make a big deal out of it. But the fans, I feel like are pretty good, with how they treat us. I mean, good is not really a word that I should use, but it's just I don't know. I'm very happy to do things for them because they're so good to us. All the feedback we get, positive, negative, it helps propel us in our careers. And I'll get some DMs every now and then. Hey, can you bring me a puck? It's like, sure. You make someone's day like that. It's a pretty cool feeling. So the fans are definitely a huge part of what we do, and obviously that's our audience. And I don't know, it's pretty incredible just to think about, kind of to what Brian was saying. I forget if it was off air or not, but just that there is some sort of clout that comes with the gig, and we say that in a very modest way, but it's just pretty cool that people really would like to chat with us and listen to us, and if we have the opportunity to do that for them or give them a puck or something like that, it's pretty awesome. And I think that's a great thing about minor pro hockey. That's my monologue.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there, Devin. It's actually one of the funnier things. We have some of the kids down there we call them the Candy Kids. I can't repeat what their actual name is, but we always we mention them on the broadcast, and some of the boys, they run up to the broadcast booth because we showed them on air one time, and they get all excited. And one of the kids came up and he brought me some candy. And Pete, I don't think you were there for that game. You might have been gone, but they even brought Pete some sugar-free candy because Pete was a diabetic, so he couldn't have candy. So I ended up having an extra puck on me. So he was giving me the candy, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'll trade you for a puck, right, buddy? And I gave it to him, and his face, like, he was just, so happy that he got a puck and walked away so happy. So it's like stuff like that we can do, make those kids' day or night, and, let them have fun. It's always a good time to see them walking away smiling. So.
Yeah, those kids are definitely, and our fans in general. I mean, they picked up. I mean, how many of our fans last year picked up on stupid catchphrases I came up with? Right? It was
"Coash me outside."
Coash me outside. How about that, man? I tell you what, that game in Motor City, I came up with more stupid catchphrases. I mean, Koivu and Hemi goes around the back of the net like two trailer park girls going around the outside. Who's going to pull that out of their hat? Like,
right?
And when you looked at the Facebook check, they're like, he didn't just say that, did he? And it's like, yeah, you did, They're just trying to get in the pit and trying to love someone during a fight. those little things.
Get in the pit and try to love someone.
They said Easter eggs, right? So, but it's that fan experience. It's really cool to see, to have that experience. We hang out with them on Saturdays at the tailgate, and you see them after the game, and we even give out autographs. I'm like, who the hell?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up, Pete. Like, you guys have had like that. That's an unbelievable thing. Like, people want my autograph. It's like, really? It's like, sure, I'd love to give it to you, but are you sure? Like, I've definitely, especially the first few, I was like, I'm not a player, and they're like, we know you're the broadcaster. I'm like, oh wow, they know. That was the first time I've been recognized as like the broadcaster in that role throughout my career and going up through college and summer baseball and stuff. I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to give you my autograph, but I'm still working on how it looks. But it's very noticeable. I think I definitely say that. But that is one of the coolest things ever. I love doing that, and I think it's a win-win because if they want it and I'm giving it to them, it's probably, something that they're enjoying. So, yeah, that's great. I love that.
I mean, for me personally, I've never really given like an autograph, but like there was this one time when I was back in Bismarck. We had this thing. It was right before I went back on air, and it was like I would interview the coach live in house so people could see it, and I'm walking to my booth, and mind you, I have like maybe 2-3 minutes to get back to the booth because we go live on air. I think back then it was Super Talk 1270. And one of the fans stops me, and she's nonverbal cerebral palsy. She's trying to flag me down, and she's pointing at herself. She's pointing at the center ice, and I'm like, hell yeah, you're at the Bobcat game. Are you excited? And her dad comes down, and he's like really excited, nearly tripping over a couple of people, and he's like, hey, it's actually her birthday. We do this every year, to celebrate her birthday. And he was like, can you shout her out on air? And I'm like, yeah, but do me a favor, just stay right here real quick. And mind you, still 2 minutes. So I book it as fast as I can from where I was to our office, because we had our office in the rink. It's a junior level, so I'm running as fast as I can. Our team owner is in there, and I don't even explain myself. I go grab one of the jerseys, the fan spectator jerseys or the replica jerseys. Sorry, I'm used to saying spectator. The replica jerseys that we sell, and I just run out, and I was reprimanded for it, but I ran back to meet that fan, and I gave it to her. I was like, you know what, happy birthday, and it's just it's one of those things. And I told you guys, in the beginning off air, that's my goal, above being a hockey broadcaster, above being able to watch the sport that I love and get paid to do it. It's being able to make someone's day, because at the end of the day, I know I'm personally not that important. The important guys are on the ice, but if I can do something that's nice for somebody else, you know, and it can go even outside of broadcasting. I mean, even today, when I was driving on my way home, there was someone stopped at the side of the road because they had their engine was like smoking. And I stopped up and I was like, hey, you know, I got AAA. I can call for you. And he was like, no, it's all right. And, you know, it's a crummy situation. You don't want to be in it. So I grabbed one of the shirts that I had in my trunk, the ones that I kind of got from the Zydeco. And I just tossed it to him. And I was like, you know, I'm sorry. I know this is a bad situation, but here, you know, at least this can try to make your day. And, you know, just got in my car, went home. And I think, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what it's all about. You know, it's all about trying to make someone else's day. It's trying to be a nice person. It's trying to just spread a little bit more positivity in the world, you know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome, Brian, that you did that. Go ahead, Pete.
Fans, Brian, without the fans, we're not needed. All right?
Exactly.
There's no need for a broadcaster. There's no need for color guys. There's no need for any of that. But they're the reasons that we're able to exist and doing this. And maybe we could be some of those people that you know, like when we were kids, we looked up to our broadcasters for our home teams, and you know, it's kind of a reverse role. But you know, we talked about everybody else's upgrades. Joseph, what do we got going on in Monroe?
Oh, we got a bunch of new upgrades coming. Yeah, and real quick before I answer that question, though, I did want to say, though, this, because when I turned my camera off, I was trying to find it. You guys mentioned about signing autographs and, you know, never sign them and stuff. That's a lie because, Brian, I have your autograph on a jersey. I got Devin's autograph, too, on a jersey. Pete, yours as well on that Moccasins jersey. And I tried to find it, but I could not find it. I lose absolutely everything. I don't know where it went. But
you know what they say,
it's
Joe?
Somewhere here.
Pictures are no proof, brother. Pictures
are
no proof.
Well, you know what? Yep, exactly. Didn't happen.
Pictures, buddy.
No, that was actually really cool. You know, you guys mentioned that you did that with every broadcaster that came in. Dude, I can tell you that legitimately made my day. That it's like, dang, you guys want me to sign something. That's actually freaking dope.
Yeah, no, everyone that comes up into that booth, we just try to treat them with respect, and, you know, we just try to get to know them, and they can do stuff like this, right? And some people, you know, they're like, oh, let's be friends, right? Let's go, let's hang out, just like you guys, right? Some people are like, all right, no, you take over our broadcast, get the hell out of my broadcast booth, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say the whole treat them with respect is ironic, given our first there.
It worked out, though. You know what?
It could have gone much better. It could not have gone much better. I will on that, but it's just funny, and it's a great story, Joe. I'm glad you told it, and it's just it's you know, I think it speaks a lot to how this whole group of broadcasters in itself is a bit of a fraternity, and everybody kind of helps each other. And like, if there's questions, I've reached out to all three of you at different points. So it's really great to be able to bounce ideas and help each other, or in some cases take over their entire production and implement your own.
Like I said, I wish that Mateen, he was here to hear this. We got to get him on now and have him share his story of what we did to his broadcast booth. But all I'm going to say is we got more stuff. We got more equipment. This is like the back end of the season. And Mateen is a smaller setup, right? iPad, a couple cords and stuff. So we're sitting there, and we got there the night before he did. This is in Athens. Yep, this is in Athens. And we're sitting there looking at the table like, wow, this is a small table. I'm like, man, we got all this gear. We got like 4 different monitors, a giant desktop, got the iPad with the slow motion replay and everything, the X keys, we got all whatnot. And we're looking at this thing me and Troy, well, how much space does he need? And Troy goes, well, he's got a laptop, right? And he can't possibly have that much space. I'm like, you know what? Mateen is going to go, if we took that whole thing, he would be like the nicest guy about it. Go, you know what? It's totally okay. Totally fine. But I called him up to make sure that it was okay. But he came walking in thinking, I was like, we got more stuff. And he's probably thinking that we didn't have that much. Just, maybe add another monitor. He walked in there and he goes, oh my gosh, dude, you guys took your whole setup to this place. What is wrong with you guys? You guys are crazy. And he is looking, he's like, hey, this is fine, but it's just a lot of stuff you guys got up there. We got 4 cases in the back. The people are walking around it, we're still putting stuff together, and it all worked out. Some great people down in Athens. And like I said, we have a lot of stuff. We pack very heavy for every outcome that could possibly happen.
Yeah, and in Athens too, right behind the us was all the off ice officials, and when they saw all this entire, we probably had 10 foot of desk, like that was no joke. We had extra cameras, we had you name it, and they asked Batin, is that our gear? And he's like, nope, that's theirs. They tried to and we're like, well, this is only a fraction of it, but yeah, wait till this year. That's a ball game. But we got new gear, we got some new stuff, and we also acquired another investor this season, and a guy to the ownership group apparently.
Jeremy Roenick.
Hall of Famer Jeremy Roenick.
JR. I played hockey against his son back in the day.
I grew up watching JR, and to my right, I have 6 photos of Roenick taking shots on me in high school. And at one point, and I really would love to reenact it this season with him, we did a rapid fire where he took 6 shots from the hash marks, and I gloved all 6. And I'll never forget, he's like, how old are you? I said 16. He said, all he said was, holy shit. And Roenick was only a couple years into his, so this was in 92. And I don't think either one of you guys were born yet. But, yeah, so it was in 92. And
not that old.
Yeah. So, that was, there was a whole slew of NHL Hall of Famers and Chris Chelios and Brett Hull, Brendan Shanahan, the list goes on and on. It was outstanding. Eddie Belfour. But to have him with our group is amazing, and it does a lot for hockey in the Gulf South and in the New Orleans area, even with the whole talk of potentially getting an NHL team in the New Orleans area. I think that added some legitimacy to that conversation, especially when you have Anson Carter being part of the ownership group over in Atlanta. So it's kind of a counteraction, I think, maybe, but time will tell on that. But what else we got going on in Baton Rouge, Joseph? Or Monroe?
Well, like I said, we really hitting hard on the broadcast, trying to level up the broadcast, do all those sort of things. So we got so many new cameras. We have I can't even tell you how many camera angles we are going to have this year. I think the coolest thing that we did last season was the net cams, and then everyone was like freaking out in the league that we were doing that we had some net cams, and it was some trial and error at the beginning because they did freeze a couple times. We weren't getting the signal. We were losing it, but everything's dialed in now. And shout out to Matt, too, Matt House has been helping us downstairs. He's been awesome, helping with everything we could ask for. But, we got some new cameras. We got a Canon XF705, so I used to use a lot in school. They're awesome cameras. And we got a couple more NDI cameras we're going to be running out through the rink. So it's going to be awesome. A couple more PTZs. It's going to be great. We're working on a lot of stuff and just really trying to up the broadcast, for the league.
Yeah,
hoping for that Skycam too.
Yeah, we're hoping for that. Hoping for a lot of those cool upgrades. Then even internally too. We added Jake Group to the list of great leadership coming into the organization. And just this week, we saw the signing of Parker Moskal, one of the owners of the Moccasins, owner, managing partner, GM Jackie Moon. That's going to be an interesting thing, which also helps to shape up this roster. And we've looked at all 3 of our rosters and a lot of new faces and training camps around the corner for everybody. And we're going to see who sticks and who doesn't. And there's going to be some really good competition. I think all 3 teams are going to be very competitive this year. I think we can all agree that the Continental is the toughest conference by far of the 2, and that's just not being biased. I think that's a fact. I did my predictions of the Empire. I'm not even touching the Continental. There's no way. I'm not making any predictions this year. I can't. How many times did I make a prediction last year, Joseph? And I went awry.
Yeah, no, you got melted by the fans a couple times too for those predictions. So Pete, I don't think is touching the predictions anymore.
No, and I think Devin was hitting on some of the stuff last night. We were kind of talking about the Empire, and I want to get everybody else's thoughts on what they think what's going to go on the other side, because any of our teams can go be facing them in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty set in stone. The top 4 teams as of right now. I mean, and this is all just going off paper and my personal knowledge and, my opinions. But I would say that, Binghamton, they're going to be slated in the number 1 spot once again. But then from there, I mean, it gets a little interesting. You got Port Huron and Danbury, of course. They're 2 good squads. So you're going to have to see who are the 2 of them. They both had some changes. I mean, major changes. Of course, losing their captain. Both teams lost their captain. Of course, I think Ruiz will still be a little bit involved, but Gonzalez is out. So a lot of changes there that I think will make things a little interesting at 2 and 3. But then from there, you got Blue Ridge, who all of a sudden is in the Empire Division, switching from the Continental amidst all the new teams and everything. So I think that they're going to be around hovering that 4 spot. They've definitely got more talent on their roster than I've seen them with in years past. And then I think Topeka, they're kind of a wild card. It looks like, preseason, everything off the ice is looking incredible for them. They just put in their ice. It looks great. But now the hockey's coming. Robbie Nichols is, of course, a decorated coach, so he's going to know what he's doing. They're going to be a tough team, but I'm not sure how the offense is going to factor in or if they're going to have enough, because I would imagine they're going to be taking a lot of penalties. They got a lot of bruisers in that club. So I see them around 4 or 5. I think them and Blue Ridge are interchangeable at those spots, and then Danbury and Port Huron at 2 and 3. You could swap. And then I think Watertown is going to really suffer this year. They've had a lot of players leave. They haven't picked up too many new ones. We'll have to see how their camp goes and who eventually signs, because there's a lot of names on the roster. But as with any team, not everybody signs, or some people will sit out a season or go play overseas. So there's a lot of factors, I think, for Watertown that are going to come into play. But I think that this is maybe the end of their steady reign they've had in the Empire Division towards the top half. And then Indiana, I don't want to be too negative with them because I've worked for inaugural franchises. I know the grind and what it's like, and they definitely have some good pieces over there. But, of course, a sudden coaching change, you're bringing in 2 minds who are going to be relatively new to it. I know both of them. They're great dudes, but seeing how they'll actually be able to handle their jobs will be, a different animal. Lester Brown said that he would die before he lets his team us suffer. So, I mean, that's kind of the attitude you want going in. But the personnel on their team, I think out of all the teams who made picks in the expansion draft, that Indiana probably had the least that are going to actually show up and sign. So they're going to have to kind of piece together a roster. And, of course, it's a smaller market, smaller rink. They're going to have to definitely hunt to find some talent or hunt on the waiver wire. But I honestly think that if they're not the 7th place team in the Empire, I'd be really surprised.
Yeah, I think the sentiments echoed. I too. I've got in my order. I'm just going to run right through it. I got Binghamton, Port Huron, Danbury, Blue Ridge, and Topeka, Watertown, and rounding it out is Indiana. So yeah, I think you're pretty. I think those numbers are pretty accurate, and it's once again on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Pete on that one too.
And still not touching our division. I'm not touching it with 10-foot pole, man. There's so much going on. Yeah, and look at the things that have gone on. You've had a borderline rebrand naming thing over in Carolina, right? So they're now the Twin City, which I don't understand all that, but that's not for me to understand. The PD Ice Cats are around now. It's also
I got a quick question, actually, Pete, to cut you off. So the Twin City Thunderbirds. So obviously the Thunderbird was the whole bird logo and stuff. Did they kind of adopt? I'm seeing a plane within the new Twin Cities logo. If you guys have a chance to check it out and tell me what you think, but I almost feel like they converted. It looks. I might be just making things up, but it kind of looks like a little bit of a Thunderbird, style logo or plane or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. They just completely abandoned the bird, which I was really surprised about.
Looks like a Pontiac logo.
Yeah. It kind of, yeah. It looks like a hood ornament, kind of in a way. But it looks like Troy, the University of Troy, or Troy
Yeah,
University,
a little bit,
or whatever it is. Right, and that's what I was like. Hey, that's interesting. Yeah, so you got those two little mashups. So we've lost Danville, as you know. The Children of the Corn are no more. Well, now the new Children of the Corn are Topeka, but the Motor City Rockers are stagnant for the season. We'll see maybe if they come back next year or not. There's also talk about some expansion, possibly some more Louisiana teams coming into the mix could make this podcast real interesting next season. What else? Little mixtures do we have here that's changed around? I know I've got some more here on my notes. Yeah, Danville, Hudson Valley. They moved. They became PD. A lot of different things, but at least we have 7-7 in the conferences. They're not all out of whack, so to speak. But man,
I guess let's say maybe for the Continental, if we're not going to do like a full ranking. And obviously I didn't get the memo with that going on my monologue, didn't just rattle them off. But what if we now preseason pick the two teams we think will not be in the postseason race, as opposed to ranking 1 through 7? Who do you think needs to make that leap to improve? Pete, we'll start with you. You're always asking the questions, but why don't you give us a little something? Who do you think are the teams that really need to improve?
Well,
Monroe, Biloxi, those two wagons.
Here's the thing. Monroe definitely improved.
They did. Absolutely.
And
that was a joke.
But our story last year was that of a little too much too late. We had a lot.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a lack of talent. You guys had a good team.
No. Oh, we did. There were more often than nights of not getting that bounce our way, and the overtime losses, Joe. You could definitely attest to that. It was an overtime loss here, and overtime, those points lost, they add up, and you got to get those points early so you're not worrying about them late. And that's we learned that in Baton Rouge, where we started out 1-15 or so, 1-15. The inaugural season.
Yeah, it was rough.
Man, you start. That's it. At that point, your season's almost gone by December. By your season's over by Christmas. You got to go out. You got to get them points early, and that attests to a good training camp and everything. Columbus is always tough. Athens was a 1-year deal last year. We don't know what they're going to look like. They lost their coach, Steve Martinson. He's over in the coast now, and they've lost a lot of players, and they've lost goaltending. I don't know what they're going to look like. I'm sure they're going to still be competitive. PD's got a good team. They've got some speed over there. They've got some firepower. Carolina's always tough. Last year we thought Carolina wasn't going to be as tough because we remember hearing Joseph saying that they're not the team that they were the year before, and they plugged along all season. They were just like a little engine that could. Biloxi last year was pesky. They're a different team this year. Baton Rouge is always going to hang with you, and then going ahead and losing Danville, and then that leaves Monroe. So, man, I hate to be that guy, but I'm kind of hoping Biloxi and Baton Rouge are the last two, to be honest. But in all honesty, it's really tough. I mean, hey, to be honest, Columbus could be in that line. Athens possibly could. We don't know. It's really tough to say. We could. I don't know. But
it's going to be a tough division, though. It's going to be a very tough division.
It's a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That seems like it's going to be the competitive division between the two. And like I said, though, at least though, Pete, for Monroe and looking at all the signings, I think one thing they really picked up on they didn't have last year is a lot of goal scoring, right? And I think they finally got that with some new signings. Getting a lot of guys in from higher leagues, right from the ECHL, the SPHL, floating their way down. So it's going to be really good, I think, this season. They also helped out their defense too.
Yeah, the defense really solidified itself. I feel like we're on our own podcast now. It's like our defense really did solidify itself this season. And I had a conversation with Parker yesterday, and I said that's the one thing that I really see is solid, man. The defense is rock solid. And I was also told that I believe the Fed's carrying 3 goaltenders this year. You're able to carry 3. So that's going to be interesting coming to training camp to see if anybody else brings in any more goaltending to either push a starter or push somebody out or put, maybe hold on to somebody out of speculation, use trade bait, to whatever the case. So that could be pretty interesting as well. But Yeah, and the other thing too is the caliber of play in the Fed has been really growing. I think this season, the player caliber, I think both conferences are going to be really good, and that also leads me to my constant argument of, man, wouldn't it be great if the SB and the Fed merged? Because now you're filling in all those cities in between. Like Topeka would have 3 teams to play now, and we get, some more teams between Alabama, and it would just make some sense. But there's only 10 teams in the SB. You can go ahead and go with, as of now, you'd have 24 teams, expanded season, expanded playoffs. Could be really interesting, but those are shoulda, coulda, wishes.
Yep.
That sounds, the thought of just a 24-team league and merging sounds so amazing. But I think we're still years away from that. I think some people think it's a little closer than it actually is. They're both, they're 2 solid professional leagues, but they are different in a variety of ways. And I think until those kind of discrepancies begin to kind of flatline or if you will, kind of smooth out, I think that it's definitely still going to be a little bit of time, but I think that it definitely is possible. I wouldn't be shocked if we get it before the next decade, but we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're looking in between 3 and 5 years. 5 years more, maybe, realistically.
Yeah, I think that's a good ballpark, Pete.
Yep.
Yeah. It's because it's like, this isn't the Fed League of 2 years ago.
No, it's definitely not.
This isn't that. And we joked, I joked before I was even here. I'm like, geez, watching some of these games before I even got to Baton Rouge, I'm like, man, this looks like a zero disrespect to any of the players. It just looked at that time almost like a step up from beer league. And you had some dynamite players, and you had some other guys. You're like, man, what are they doing here? Now you got guys that are like, whew, man, when are they going to move up, right? Because it's like watching your high school, you're watching your college kids. That's what you want to do. You want to get them to nurture and move them along. As much as you love your guys, you want them to succeed, move to that next level. And these guys this is some good hockey. It really is.
Yeah, and Pete, too, like I've been saying this for a while. You've been hearing me say it, like this league is going to be a lot better, really good. You're going to see some really good hockey maybe the next 5 years. And you're already seeing it now starting to grow, right? And that might just be the time when this league maybe merges. It merges if they do with the SPHL. But, what's surprising that you're seeing guys from the OHL come play over here in the FPHL. And then also guys making their way down from the ECHL to play in the FPHL. You're getting more guys from the SPHL also coming over. So you're getting some players, too, from the WHL, some high-end junior hockey, right, coming from Canada and whatnot. So, the league is really growing, and it's been taking a huge step forward from where it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking about this, how quick seasons is on us, because we're in 2 weeks away from everything. So Devin, you guys are in Lafayette next week?
Yep, next week for training camp. Yep.
Next week late, like next weekend, or?
I think it'll be more towards the beginning of the week, and then we're staying for 10 days. I'm pretty sure we're not leaving Lafayette at all during camp. Like, we won't be bouncing. I think we're just going to be there because I think it's about a 4-hour trip or something. So it's kind of a lot to do.
Yeah, it's a little,
how many days? And it's just because we're waiting for the ice to go in at the Coliseum and the boards and the glass, all that good stuff.
Right. Brian, what about you guys? When are you guys doing training camp?
Training camp, I believe, is going to be sometime within the next couple weeks, I believe. I just know I'm going to be there just trying to scout things out and, of course, filming some content and helping out the social media side of things and seeing if I can actually get my spotting boards down there so I can start pronouncing the name of the players correctly for once.
Yeah, and ours is coming up real quick too. I think we're doing that at home. I actually just ordered the ice logos for Monroe today. The ice is going to look pretty sweet. I got the diagram all made up, so we'll see how that goes. The win, maybe one more, and we're going to have a different conversation. I think in about another week. I think we could pop on and give a little recap of where we're at with looking at everything, and it's just, man, one more week closer to holding on to your hats and getting it all started. I don't even know if we're going to be knocking rust off the first game, but it's going to be trying to learn those new names and learn the new numbers and everything. And it's going to be like the crash course. I think by the 4th or 5th game, we'll have it. We'll kind of have that down to memory.
It's going to be fun, Pete. You know me. I'm coming in hot the week they start playing.
Yeah, no,
I'm coming up that ladder and clearing out everything on the perch and putting my one tripod and camera right in the middle and saying, "This is my house now." And
yep. See, you learned well. We taught you well. That's something I would expect nothing less of you to do that. All right, Devin? I just want you to walk up there and just push everything off the table, okay?
Yeah,
and you can knock it off. You can knock it off the front and almost hit some fans like Brian did and just said, "Hey, this is my broadcast booth. I'm taking over. You guys can go in the small corner and have at it."
Exactly.
Go, man.
This is my home now. Look at me. I am the captain now.
That's exactly what he's gonna do. Yep. And I'm gonna look me in the eyes and go, "I'm the captain."
We gotcha.
And then Joe will send the 12 interns on me, and I'll just be fighting for my life, 12v1.
Yeah.
Like I tell Joe,
it's gonna be like an unfiltered game of PUBG, bro.
Yeah.
I tell our broadcast team all the time, man. I just show up and talk. That's. I come back in stats. That's my portion.
And the jokes. He's got the jokes.
Yeah, it's good thing he's got the stats.
Yeah, Joseph doesn't always, but he's got stuff that I don't have. I've got stuff that he don't have. I come up with weird slogans. Doesn't matter, but I don't know if you guys know this too, but this year we got a radio station too. I want to plug that too. We're going to be on 103 Rocks. Up in Monroe, along with the Gulf Sports Entertainment Network, KNOE, YouTube as always, and am I missing anything?
Sporfy. I think that's what we're supposed to be on now, the league. But that and Twitch too.
Sporfy. Yeah, well, a couple guys got the Twitch, but that's for Walgreens to figure out. But yeah, we're going to be all over the place, and it's going to be one of those things where exposure's good.
Oh, and also KNOE too. We can't forget KNOE. We're going to be on there as well.
I threw them in there, but that's we love those people over there, and we always see Megan's always at the game, sitting up there right outside the press box. It's going to be a lot of fun again this year. It's just Thursdays through Sundays with Joe. It's going to be.
Yep.
I don't know how you do.
Brian's gonna be coming up there, and he's gonna be knocking on the door, and I'm like, "You're not coming inside my press box, dude. You stay down here."
What door? You guys have a submarine hatch that I have to go
door.
on.
You gotta open the door first. Now hold on a second. Before we even end this podcast, I just want to say this, okay? Because Brian's complaining, but let's talk about his broadcast set up for the away broadcasters. Because Devin, I know you can attest to this. You're lucky if you even get a working Ethernet cable over there. He's got this nice press box. He's got a really nice press box in there. I would know. I used to work for the team in their inaugural season. And then Brian just kicks it all the way down to the left in the corner, and you got this 100-foot, Ethernet cable that's got like the tip broken on it or smashed that doesn't work. Yeah, doesn't. We wouldn't know because our broadcast didn't work the last game of the season. And then he's, if you can't get all your gear in there because we can't get all our gear fit in there, you got to use the chairs and hope that no fans are in front. Brian's over there laughing at us in the corner, think it's funny and whatnot. Then we come in there and invade his broadcast at some point. But,
listen, man, they don't call it home for no reason, brother. They don't call it home.
You know what? I'm getting a taste of my own medicine, I guess, right, Devin?
Yeah. The Raising Cane's River Center has not been the kindest to me. Brian's been great to me.
It's been fantastic for me.
The River Center, yeah, and then there's the $7 Coca-Cola incident that I ran into at the River Center. I was just it was one of those days you're just craving, a soda. It's not every day, but it was the day. I walked up to the concessions. It's like, hey, can I just get a Coke? $3, maybe $4 on a bad day. Yeah, that'll be $7.17. And I was like, wait, what? For a bottle of soda? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, man, I'm all set. And I left. And normally I would just bite the bullet, but I got to be a little more fiscally conservative, I guess. So the $7 Coke was out. That's my one beef with the River Center.
You know what I do?
A little advice. We bring our own.
That's what I was
I usually do, but when you're on the road, you don't always have the the luxury of having a car where you can kind of go to the store and get what you need. It's
now you're in Biloxi.
When you guys visit our house, you let us know what you need. We got you.
You guys didn't even get to go to the back end like the last 2 games that we had, but listen, we had a hot dog maker up there. Okay, we brought up there. We had everything up there that you could need, and we had the king cake up there. I mean, we're offering hot dogs to the away birthday cake. Offering this. We got this whole setup going. Okay. And, feeding the away broadcast teams that roll in and whatnot, and, give them some hot dogs. Yeah, it was fun. You buy the giant 24-pack of hot dogs, throw them in there, and it was a fun time.
Love it. That's awesome.
We try to take care of everybody. Try to.
I'll be taking you guys up on that when I'm down there.
Oh, well, now we got Pete's hot dogs. He'll be bringing them up.
Oh God, man, those things are not cheap. But we'll talk about that another day, or maybe even off the air. But
he's like,
boys,
financially stable.
What's that now?
No, he was like, speaking of being physically more equitable, I don't know about them hot dogs, buddy.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about those later. It costs a lot of money. Anyway, though, we got anything else for this episode, kids?
I think I'm good, Dad.
Yeah.
think you guys pretty much summed it all up. Joe, not looking forward to seeing you, but the rest of you guys.
The feeling is mutual, my friend.
We love each other, I promise.
Yes.
But yeah, great first step.
Devin's been good. Ryan, it's going to be another one of those years. Partner, here we go. Get ready to get ready.
Yes, sir.
All I got to say is, if you thought last season was fun, you haven't seen nothing yet. Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Hockey Downs. We're going to have a good one this season. For all my partners here tonight, so long, everybody. See you next week. The Hockey Time Down South podcast has been sponsored by the following: Marty and Mark's Jewelry and Watch Repair, located at 224 Trenton Street, Monroe, Louisiana. A great family business with amazing people, a certified Rolex dealer, and the home of expert craftsmanship. Marty and Mark's in West Monroe, Louisiana.